Hello, my people. Welcome back again to this channel. Thank you, for joining me in this live section, guys. A lot of things has been going on, so I want you guys to, anything you're doing at the moment, please just leave it aside and come and listen to what I have to tell you guys. Like now, there is a peaceful protest, in Port Harcourt and Enugu, a peaceful gatherings, and people are saying that the Mazi Kalu must be released. Nigeria is standing at a critical point, and this time it's not just one region shouting. It's not just one voice calling for justice. It's the unified cry of an entire region. 17 southern states speaking in one accord, and they are saying free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, no delay, no excuse. So it's not even just about one region again. Many people, many regions are now joining in this fight of free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All the whole southern states are now joining in the fight. Now, in a powerful statement released under the Supreme Council of Southern Nigerian Youth Leaders, youth from all 17 southern states came together to issue a direct appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Their message was clear. They said, use your constitutional powers under Section 175 and free Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. So that was what the Supreme Council of Southern Nigerian Youth Leaders came together. Southern Nigerian youth leaders from all 17 southern states. This is not just about a particular region now. From the whole 17 southern states, they came and appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, telling him that use your constitutional powers under Section 175 and free Nnamdi Kanu unconditional. Now, the Supreme Council of Southern Nigerian Youth Leaders is not just a small activist group, it's a coalition of youth leaders and voices from across southern Nigeria, including the southeast, the south-south, and the southwest. From Lagos to Calabar, from Owerri to Oyo, this council speaks for millions of youths, all united by one purpose: peace, justice, and the restoration of equity in Nigeria. Now, under Section 175 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, the president has the full legal authority to grant pardon, clemency, or full release to any citizen. The president may grant any person consigned with or convicted of any offense a pardon either free or subject to lawful conditions. This means President Tinubu does not have to wait for justice or motosho, even the Supreme Court. He can end this today, lawfully. So the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot come and start waiting for Justice Omotosho to give his own judgment or verdict, or wait for the Supreme Court. He himself has the power, to end this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. He has the power. He can end it today lawfully, and nobody will shout at him, or nobody will accuse him of doing this or doing that, because he has the legal right. Now, but the youth leaders did not stop at just demanding the release of Nnamdi Kanu. The southern leaders did not stop there. They proposed a bold national solution, a permanent institution for peace. This commission, if created, will focus on ethnic justice, community reconciliation, and regional development, especially in marginalized areas like the southeast. They want a Nigeria that includes everyone, not one that criminalizes identity or ignores what's injustice. Now, this national call is also echoing internationally, from Amnesty International to the United Nations. There is increasing pressure on Nigeria to respect Kanu's rights and address the legality of his extraordinary detention from Kenya. And now, with all 17 southern states aligned, Tinubu's silence can no longer be defended, because the 17 states has actually, has already come together. So please, guys, there's a normal ritual we normally do in this channel. Please, I want you to type in the comment section, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and justice delayed is not justice denied, because we actually use this platform to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and to tell the Nigerian government that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is actually innocent. Now, what does all this mean for Tinubu? This is not just a political moment for President Tinubu. This is a constitutional, moral, and historical test. Does he want to be remembered as a president who listened to the people and restored unity, or the one who ignored their voice and allowed injustice to continue under his watch? This is his moment, and the constitution has given him the power to act. Now that the 17 southern state leaders have come together, this is the moment, and the constitution has given him the power to act. So this is the moment for him to release Nnamdi Kanu. Now, people were coming out saying that the whole southern state were coming out saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released. We must amplify the voice of the 17 states. We must share this truth and we must remind this government that mercy is not weakness, it is leadership. The fact that you're telling someone, oh, I grant you mercy, it is not weakness, it is what's called leadership. So if you believe in justice, if you stand for unity, if you want to see Nigeria rise above injustice, then please, I want you guys to actually share this live section. Share this live section so we'll be able to tell the Nigerian government that Mazinam Kanu is is an innocent man, and therefore he should be released. You can see that the way the 17 southern states has come together to join in this agitation for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and this is time for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to listen to them, because I'm not just talking about one region. Like the 17 southern states has risen to demand what for his release. Now, popular support across ethnic lines. Many Yoruba, Ijaw, and Urhobo youth groups have joined the call for Kanu's release. This is no longer an Igbo-only matter. Southern unity is being demonstrated in an unprecedented way. An inquiry to one region is not seen as an inquiry to all. This shows that Nigeria is maturing politically when injustice anywhere is fought by people everywhere. Now, in section 175, isn't just a suggestion. Section 175 of the Constitution is not just a suggestion, it's a duty mandated to be done. The prerogative of mercy isn't just power, it's a constitutional responsibility when justice demands it. Presidents like Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan used it to settle nation crises and calm civil unrest. Tinubu can become the unifier in practice, not just in name. Now, the continued detention may escalate tensions. Kanu's continued incarceration fuels anger, not peace. Each sit-at-home protest, each military deployment, and each court delay creates what more tension. The region is losing billions in GDP due to instability. This can stop if Kanu is released. The UN Human Rights Council and Amnesty International have openly condemned Kanu's retention and prolonged detention. The Nigerian government risks sanctions or seizure if it continues to ignore court rulings and international appeals. ECOWAS court has warned about the dangers of unlawful detention and human rights violations in the past. The Appeal Court of Nigeria ruled in 2022 that Kanu's extradition was illegal and his trial was invalid. Several legal experts include Femi Falana, the senior advocate of Nigeria, and Mike Ezeokohim, the senior advocate of Nigeria, have said there is no constitutional ground for his continued detention. The government is using delay tactics, ignoring its own judicial system. Releasing Kanu could start a wave of peace and healing, especially in the southeast. A true peace process must begin with justice and dialogue, not force and silence. So creating the ethnic communities, peace and development commissions could prevent future unrest and secessionist movements. Boko Haram commanders have been granted amnesty. Bandits have been negotiated with. Why is a man who called for a referendum still behind the bars? The double standards are fueling regional resentments. Releasing Kanu and initiating ethnic peace efforts could win. Tinubu support in the southeast ahead of the 2027 election. It's a chance for him to do what Buhari failed to do: unify the country and have a lasting legacy. It would disarm his critics and prove that he listens to the people, not just the cabals. Now, the world is watching. Every day Kanu stays in detention is a dent in Nigeria's human rights record. Internal conflict drains security forces, wrecks community, and distracts from real issues like education, poverty, and infrastructure. History will ask, why did you wait so long when you had the power to act? That is what history is going to ask Mazinam Kanu. The history is going to ask Bola Ahmed Tinubu, why did you wait so long to release this man when you had the power to act? You can release him through the prerogative of mercy, but you refuse to do it. So history is going to ask this thing. And now, like I always say, our future generational children are watching the way Nnamdi Kanu is being treated. Now, people are really saying we want a Nigeria where people are not jailed for demanding freedom. If Tinubu does not act now, if Tinubu does not act now, he may never recover the trust of the East. Let justice reign and Nigeria will breathe again. That if for justice reign, Nigeria is really going to breathe again. And all those things we've been hearing, insecurity, we won't be hearing it again. At least a lot of people, our Igbo people who are outside the country, can now be able to return to Nigeria if all this insecurity ends. That is one thing they don't know. You can see that the Southerners, 17 Southern states have come out, to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and appeal to Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do something about it. It's time for him to listen to the Southern people, the Southern leaders. It's time for him to listen to them. Now, this is the first time since the Civil War that 17 Southern states are speaking with one voice, coming together to speak with one voice. It signals a growing Southern political alliance beyond ethnic boundaries. It exposes the disconnect between the presidency and the people, especially youth. The movement is not about Biafra alone, it's about fairness and right and fairness. Now, youths from Yoruba, Ijaw, Efik, Ibibio, Orobo, and Igbo groups are all involved. This alliance could become a national political force if ignored. Even in the North Central, middle belt groups are watching closely. It shows that the youth no longer fear government retaliation. Southern religious and traditional leaders have begun quietly was supporting the call. The South is not divided on this issue. They are now unified by injustice. Section 175 of the Constitution gives Tinubu the right and obligation to act in the nation's interest. The appeal court ruling in 2022 already dismissed the federal case against Kanu. Tinubu's government is violating a standing court order by continuing the detention. The illegal extradition from Kenya makes his trial a gross abuse of international law. The federal government has no legal victory on record against Kanu. Continued detention defies ECOWAS protocols on human rights. Supreme Court has never given a clear judgment justifying his detention. Justice Omotosho is acting under political pressure and not with legal obligation. People have been saying that the state pressuring Justice Omotosho, to give to not to judge Nnamdi Kanu's case well. And the people who are pressuring him are the Northerners. Now, Nigerian Bar Association members have called for his immediate release. UN Working Group on arbitrary detention condemned Kanu's arrest and torture. Any judge who ignores both local and international ruling is in breach of their oath. Tinubu must act before the judiciary is seen as a rubber stamp of executive power. Kanu's detention has triggered years of unrest and military operations in the east. Over 10 billion naira is lost monthly due to sit-at-home protests and instability. Businesses are closing, investors are fleeing, and no investor trusts a region in crisis. Markets in Onitsha, Aba, Owerri are reporting losses daily due to the tension. More than 5,000 civilians have been arrested or killed since his detention. Military campaigns in civilian areas are increasing hostility and resistance. Without political resolution, the security crisis will continue for years. Release of Kanu could be the beginning of peace negotiation. Igbo youths are not afraid, but they want dialogue, not bullets. Keeping him locked up fuels radicalism and loss of hope among the youth. Kanu's case has been raised at the United Nations Human Rights Council because this international community, all of them are watching. So Kanu's case has been raised at the United Nations Human Rights Council. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights is reviewing the redemption. The US State Department has been pressured by diaspora groups to intervene. UK Parliament members have called on Nigeria to respect international law. Amnesty International has classified his detention as arbitrary and illegal. Nigeria risks becoming a pariah in diplomatic circles over human rights abuse. Countries like Canada, Ireland, and Germany have seen protests over Kanu's case. Every global action ignored by Tinubu will redefine Nigerians' reputation. Tinubu campaigned on reconciliation and restructuring. This is his test. This is the reason why Tinubu must act now. Tinubu campaigned on reconciliation and restructuring. This is his test. Buhari failed to solve the problem. Tinubu could be the leader who made peace. That's if he actually give it in. If since Buhari has failed to solve the problem, Tinubu can just become the leader who has suddenly made peace. Now, 2027 is coming, and this issue could cost Tinubu critical southern votes because election is already around the corner. Tinubu has an opportunity to gain respect across the southeast. Ignoring this movement may reignite separatist core even beyond IPOB. He can demonstrate that Yoruba leaders don't marginalize Igbos. A bold decision now could lead to lasting legacy of national healing. His silence is already being viewed as weak or complicit. Youths are turning their backs on national symbols because they feel excluded. The country cannot afford another civil war narrative in 2025. We want peace, not prison cells. Free him. Southeast has been patient for too long. We want justice now. If Boko Haram commanders can walk freely, why is Kanu in jail? We are Nigerians too. We defend fairness. The only condition we want is his freedom. Every Igbo youth is watching Tinubu closely. If Tinubu keeps him in detention, he has betrayed the constitution. We are tired of being ignored. We are part of Nigerians too. Southern youth is growing and it's not stopping here. This is not about tribe. It's about the truth. So we're not just saying this about tribe. No, we're saying the truth. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, needs to actually but be released. So guys, please remember that there's this ritual we normally do in this ritual, in this channel. We normally type please free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So please, I want you to type in the comment section free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and justice delayed is not justice denied, because we normally use this platform to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to tell the federal government that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. Now I'll be taking some comments said here on the screen. They say Kanu must be freed now before 10th October 2025. I'm telling you the honest truth. Kanu must be freed before 10th October 2025 because the indigenous people of Biafra are already out saying that if Justice James Omotosho doesn't if he's not careful on 10th October 2025, a lot is going to happen because the indigenous people of Biafra are going to really stage a violent protest if Kanu is not released before 10th October 2025. Now, someone here said, Nnamdi Kanu, the prophet of our time, may God continue to protect you and your family. God is your light. Amen. God will continue to protect him. He's our prophet of our time. I've always been telling people that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet that God sent to Nigerians. You don't expect God to come down by himself to liberate Nigeria. He sends someone through, he sends someone to enter into a man and be able to fulfill his work on earth. So even when people pray that, oh, let this happen, let God come and vindicate us, let God come and liberate us, he has already sent a man to do that. But the Nigerian government don't want to free him. The evil people in power don't want to free him, so he will do what God has sent him to do. Now someone here says, please, President Tinubu, release Nnamdi Kanu for your blessings. Some people have refused to understand that the way why Nigeria is like this today, why this insecurity and many things are happening to Nigeria, no foreign investors are happening to Nigeria, is because Tinubu has refused to release Kanu, and now it is just as if they have locked Nigerians' blessings. Because of they have not released Nnamdi Kanu. That is why all these things is happening in Nigeria. They have locked, Tinubu has locked Nigerians' blessings. And that's why you see nothing good is coming out from Nigeria. So guys, let's go on. So please don't forget to type in the comment section. Also, please let us also drop your comments below, about the whole thing that is going on here. Also, the reason why you think the 17 southern states has come together, to talk about the release of Kanu. So guys, please drop your comment below because I would really like this live section to be an interactive section. So let's move on. The same government that negotiates with bandits and terrorists refuses to dialogue with a man who asked for a referendum. Boko Haram commanders were rehabilitated and reintegrated, yet Kanu is kept in isolation. Politicians who looted billions walk free, while Kanu is jailed for a non-violent court. Even herdsmen leaders accused of deadly attacks face no trial. Governors who promoted election violence are rewarded. Yet IPOB is criminalized. The same military that couldn't arrest ISWAP leaders chased IPOB supporters to the forest. This is actually funny. The same military, these people could not even arrest ISWAP leaders. The same people that are now saying chasing IPOB supporters to the forest. No northern leader has been arrested for threats to national unity, but Kanu was adopted. Kanu's trial is treated with more urgency than oil thefts or kidnapping rings. Criminals work freely with plea bargains. Why is there no such option for Kanu? This sends the message that violence gets negotiation, but dialogue gets what? Detention. That is the message it sends to us. People who called for Shahada nationwide were never arrested. Why is IPOB treated differently? This is selective justice and it endangers the rule of law. If peace is the goal, then mercy must be part of leadership. So, guys, please keep your comments coming, and we'll also be taking a look at some of your comments. We'll be discussing about it. Now, let's go. If peace is the goal, then mercy must be part of leadership. Tinubu can show Nigerians that strength is not found in punishment, but in forgiveness. Mandela was called a terrorist too, but he later became a president. What if Kanu is Nigerians' Mandela moment? Keeping a man in jail for ideas only strengthens those ideas. This is not just a legal case, it's a moral and historical question. Mercy doesn't weaken a nation, it restores its humanity. Nigeria is not at war, then why treat political agitation like treason? If government refuses to forgive, it teaches people to hate. The youth want justice, not bloodshed. This is the time to listen. Kanu's detention has caused widespread psychological trauma in the southeast. Young people are losing trust in the law and turning to extremists. Many now believe that democracy doesn't work for Igbos. Parents are afraid to let their children speak openly. Civil rights activism is now seen as a death sentence in the east. People no longer believe in one Nigeria, they feel permanently what? Excluded. Sit at home isn't just a protest, it's become an expression of pain. Schools have shut down, businesses have collapsed, all tied to the Kanu's issue. Mental health clinics in the East report spikes in anxiety and hopelessness. Detaining Kanu is creating a broken and angry generation. The Southeast is becoming radicalized, not because of IPOP, but because of injustice. If leaders really love the East, they listen, not what silence. Now, the 17 Southern States Youth Movement is the largest coordinated youth advocacy since EndSARS. Young people are now reading the Constitution, learning their rights. They are not driven by violence, they are driven by the failure of leadership. Youths now understand the value of unity. They no longer fall for tribal division, both on Twitter, and they are now tools of what? Conscience or revolution. They are organizing not with guns but with ideas. Nigerian youths know they are the majority and they are becoming what? Fearless. More student unions, camp leaders, and Southern youth reps are singing on. This is no longer agitation, it is generational what? Alignment. Every unjust detention grows the political IQ of the young generation. In Ethiopia, the government released opposition leaders to promote peace. Rwanda used national dialogue after genocide, not endless arrest. Ghana never had to jail separatist voice, but because they invested in unity. Kenya has internal dialogue commissions to avoid civil unrest. South Africa freed Mandela despite accusation because they wanted healing. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu feels that he wants healing, what he should do is, he should free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If he really thinks that he needs Nigeria to heal, Nigeria to come to life again. Because for me, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will always tell you this is a zoo country. So if you want Nigeria to come to life again, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knows what to do. All he needs to do, is to release Nnamdi Kanu, because you guys have seen now. You guys have seen that South Africa freed Mandela because despite the accusation, they still freed Nelson Mandela because they wanted healing. They wanted something good to start happening in their country. Okay, now let me take a look at some comments here. Someone said, Mago said zoo governments are criminals themselves. Honestly, they are criminals. Nnamdi Kanu told them that, you see, Nigeria is a zoo country. It's a zoo country where animals, and you guys know now, zoo countries where animals live, because he has found out that the people he's staying with, that are reasoning like animals. That is what Nnamdi Kanu told them, that this country is a zoo. Even the government themselves are criminals themselves. So guys, let's go on. Nigeria must learn from others before it becomes an example of what not to do. We need to learn from South Africa, the way South Africa freed Nelson Mandela. So Nigeria needs to learn from South Africa. African nations that ignore minority voices fall into endless cycles of war. The continent is watching. Will Nigeria lead or lag behind? Southeast votes may be completely lost to Tinubu if Kanu remains detained. Even a political youth are now saying no PVC until Kanu is free. Releasing Kanu could swing millions of voters to Tinubu's side. It could allow Tinubu's government to be seen as bold and unifying. Tinubu risks becoming Buhari 2.0 if he had follows the same playbook of silence. Southeast senators and governors are already losing credibility over inaction. The South is watching Tinubu's every move and they will remember. A political solution today could prevent a political disaster tomorrow. Nnamdi Kanu is a father, a brother, a son, and not a terrorist. He has been denied medical access, family visits, and basic rights. He was tortured, blindfolded, and chained for weeks after his arrest. No trial, no conviction, yet he remains in prison. Why? His health is deteriorating. He may not survive the next year if this thing continues. He deserves the same dignity given to northern insurgents. We've seen many times they say that oh he's a Boko Haram member and they have repented. They said that they have repented and they will stop doing this. And you guys will not rehabilitate them. Now that same thing you guys are doing to the northerners, that's the northern insurgents. Now you also have to do it to Nnamdi Kanu. He deserves the same dignity you guys are giving to northern is insurgents. Now, Kanu never burned buildings. He built awareness. His mother died while he was in exile. His father died too. How much more must he lose? The South is saying, we don't want revenge. We want restoration. Kanu's release will not end Nigeria. It may help save. That is it. Kalu's freedom is going to help save Nigeria a lot. It's going to help, but the federal government, they're not even thinking straight. They don't think about that fact that, oh, if Nigeria is still going like this and we've been electing new presidents over so many years and Nigeria is still like this, what do you think is the problem? They have never thought of the side of, oh, releasing Kanu, that they let them know how it's going to be. Now, Nigeria's unity is at stake. You cannot force unity by suppressing dissent. Real unity is built on justice and not imprisonment. A nation that jails a peaceful agitator is already fracturing. If the Southeast does not feel heard, then Nigeria is a union in name only. Detaining Kanu without dialogue deepens secessionist sentiment. The longer this continues, the harder it will be to heal the divide. You can't claim one Nigeria while punishing one region unfairly. Unity is not when one group dominates and the other is silent. There is more disunity in detaining him than in releasing him. His release could be the symbolic bridge between East and West. If we want one Nigeria, Igbo pain must matter. Every month, Kanu remains in detention. Now, new enemies of unity are born. The youth of 17 southern states believe in Nigeria. That's why they demand equity. If Tinubu wants to be a unifier, this is his moment, to change things. At least they are going to use the fact that he released Nnamdi Kanu on his own administration to remember him. That if he really wants things to change, he can be the man that that is going to put an end to all this marginalization in Igbo land. That is if Tinubu really wants to do it. Now, the foundation of unity is always justice before peace. Section 35 of the Nigerian Constitution grants personal liberty. Section 36 ensures fair hearing. Kanu hasn't had one in over 2 years. Section 170, Chapter 5 gives Tinubu the right to grant mercy. Why won't he use it? Extraordinary redemption violates international law and Nigerian law. Detaining someone who has not been convicted is unconstitutional. The DSS violates court orders, a direct attack on the judiciary. If courts cannot be obeyed, then democracy has already failed. The constitution is not a political weapon, it is the people's shield. Kanu's health rights are also protected under Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. Court rulings granting bail have been disobeyed multiple times. If one man is denied constitutional rights, no citizen is safe. Youths know the law and they know Kanu's rights are being abused. Endless adjournments are a weapon and not justice. The court process is being used to keep him detained, not give him a fair trial. Bail rulings ignored. Why go to court at all? Justice delayed is political manipulated. Even the African Union Court found the detention was illegal. Judges are pressured behind the scene. they fear backlash. Nigerian lawyers globally have condemned the legal process. If Kanu must be tired, let it be fair and public. Keeping him in DSS custody instead of prison violates procedure. No transparency. The judiciary is held hiding behind national security. The judicial system has been compromised in this case. Rule of law has become a rule of what? Convenience. Now, his resignation from Kenya is a diplomatic crime. UK Parliament has debated his illegal arrest and urged release, but up to now, nothing has been done about his release. The UN Working Group in Arbitrary Detention declared it illegal. US lawmakers have sent multiple inquiries to Nigeria over his condition. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have documented their abuse. Kanu holds British citizen. The UK must act or lose moral ground. Tinubu government is staining Nigeria's global image. Foreign investors are watching how Nigeria treats human rights. If Nigeria can adopt someone internationally, what message does that send? What message does it really send to you? Now, no Igbo have ever ruled Nigeria since 1966. Is that really accidental, or they really know what they did? Southeast has the least numbers of states and local governments. The region gets few federal appointments and lower budget allocations. The Kanu only validates that the beliefs that Igbos are hated. National integration is possible. National integration is impossible if one ethnic group is treated as outsiders. From Ojukwu to Kanu, why are Igbos always criminalized for demanding fairness? Even during Boko Haram war, the North had ministers. The East gets military occupation. Nnamdi Kanu's case is not just political, it's a generational what? Igbo trauma. There is no federal presence in the East, only military barracks. Youth from the Southeast are simply saying, treat us like Nigerians. We are the religious leaders. Why the silence on injustice? The church was vocal during EndSARS. What changed? Traditional rulers must speak now or lose credibility. Silence in the face of injustice is spiritual betrayal. Muslim leaders in the north speak for their people. Why can't Southern bishop, even imam, pastor, and Oba who believes in peace must speak up now? Religious bodies should demand human dignity for all, including agitators. Now, even Jesus forgave Peter, so why wouldn't leaders forgive Kanu? The agitation will likely reduce if Kanu is free and dialogue begins. Hyper functions may become more moderate if their leader is heard. Governments can control the narrative better with a peaceful protest. Tinubu can build bridges with a key region of 2027. Igbo businessmen and elites will support peace if they see fairness. Ending sit at home would boost the eastern economic immediately. Reducing military presence would reduce tension and human rights abuse. Youth radicalism can be reversed if they feel the system lies. A released Kanu could be a partner in peace and not a threat. Now, political release gives the Southeast a sense of recognition. Nigerians are depressed. A gesture of peace will uplift the mood. The region will regain some trust in governance. National morale increases when leadership shows empathy. The government will be seen as mature and forgiving, not brutal. It proves Nigeria is capable of democratic tolerance. Tinubu's legacy could shift from controversial to compassionate. Civil society will find renewed energy if they see the result. The press and international community will praise a release. It will reduce internal tensions in security agencies. Peace will return to the East and gradually the country. Now, just like I told you guys, I love the fact that the 17 southern states has come together, to put their voice together in order to order for the release of Kanu. To be honest, that is what they're trying to do in order to see if they're going to release their own brother. But the thing that is shocking me is that there are a lot of people who are not even talking about their brother. Now, just like I'm telling you guys, mainstream media complicity and silencing. Mainstream media is deliberately underreporting Kanu's continued detention. Southern voices are muted while northern cases get headlines. There is an unspoken media gag order on his court trials. Courtroom proceedings are shrouded in secrecy while the blackout. Southern media houses must stop playing safe and start telling the truth. IPOB is criminalized, yet Boko Haram gets media empathy. Like how come? They're saying that IPOB is criminalized, yet Boko Haram people, they get media empathy. Nobody is telling the story of Kanu's health struggles in DSS custody. The press should be the voice of the oppressed and not the state. What happened to the investigative journalism Nigeria was once proud of? Most newspapers fear being sanctioned. Is that democracy? The media should ask, what crime has Kanu truly committed? Not one mainstream TV station covered the 17 state youth resolution. Journalists have become editors of silence. The censorship is a bigger danger than detention itself. A nation without truth-telling media is a dictatorship in disguise. Now, continuing detention fuels sit at home, crippling the southeast economy. Traders lose millions weekly in lost revenue due to what? Unrest. Youths who said youths who should be working are now resisting or hiding. Now businesses are relocating out of the fear, out of the out of the east due to what? Fear. No foreign investors will enter a region seen as unstable. The ports in the east are underutilized due to insecurity. The tension equals unrest, rest equals economic suicide. Release equal peace, peace equals what? Reinvestment. Tinubu promised economic transfer and economic transformation. How does detention help that? Southeast entrepreneurs are suffering, yet they pay taxes. This case is not just political, it's killing jobs and trade. Who benefits from a who benefit from a region because what? Financially what? Paralyzed. Detention without trial creates mass fear among dissenters. Many Igbo youths are scared to speak. They fear DSS. Fear is not a political tool, not just law enforcement. Mothers in the East want their sons not to protest. Is that really freedom? The youth now whisper their demands and fear. Even lawyers are afraid to take up Kanu's case. When fear rules, democracy dies. The government is using Kanu to send a message to others, but the message is backfiring, creating more silent resistance. Nigeria cannot claim freedom while her citizens live in fear. Generations will ask, why was Kanu jailed for asking for fairness? Mandela was once called a terrorist. Today, he's a global icon. Ken Saro-Wiwa was silenced, but his voice still speaks. Kanu's name is now part of Igbo cultural history. Even if jailed, he has already won in the court of memory. The longer he is detained, the more legendary he becomes. Detention will not erase his legacy, it will magnify it. You cannot imprison an ideology, only a body. Like Gani Fawimi, Kanu's ideas will survive change. Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo and Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo history will remember who stood for justice. Southern youths are now aware of their history and inspired by it. Kanu's voice echoes in the minds of a new generation. Northern bandits are granted amnesty, but Kanu is denied bail. The Fulani herdsmen walk freely, IPOB members are haunted. Terrorists have been rehabilitated, but a peaceful agitator is tortured. Boko Haram leaders met Buhari. Kanu can't even meet a lawyer. Where is the equity in a nation where killers are forgiven and talkers are jailed? Where? Where is it? Now, what moral ground does Tinubu have? Detaining Kanu after opposing Abacha. Nigeria forgave coup plotters, but can't forgive Kanu for words. Political offenders have been pardoned. Why is Kanu an exemption? They have pardoned lots of criminals. The worst part is that they still rehabilitate Boko Haram into the society. Now, if Kanu were not Igbo, would he still be in this DSS custody? This is what people have been asking. If Kanu was not an Igbo person, do you think by now he would still be in DSS custody? This is not justice. It is ethnic politics wearing a legal robe. This is the first time all 17 Southern youth blocks are united. The generation that was once silent is now fully awake. Southern youths are not fighting Nigeria, they are fighting what? Injustice. They are demanding equal rights and not civil war. This new generation is politically what? Alert and determined. They have outgrown fear, tribalism, and media lies. What SARS couldn't do to this youth, Kanu's detention is not doing it. It's unifying them. The Southern youth are rejecting troubles. They want equity. They are using social media and not guns, and that scares the system. This movement is not IPOB, not Mazob. It is every Southern voice. When 17 states agree, can no longer say it's a freeing voice because the whole 17 states have agreed. Now, tell me, guys, what can you really say about this thing? What can you really say? about all these things. So please drop your comment below, because I would really love to know your comment. Just like I told you guys, I would really love this live to be an interactive session. So please, there's this normal ritual we normally do here in this channel. I want you guys to please type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu, and also justice delayed is not justice denied, because we normally use this platform to agitate for the release of Martin Nnamdi Kanu and to tell the federal government that this man is an innocent man and he needs to be released. He has been in detention since 2021 till date. Now, Nnamdi Kanu was abducted in Kenya, violating international extraordinary watch protocols. His extraordinary detention breaches the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which Nigeria is a signatory to. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention already declared its interest illegally. Why is Nigeria ignoring this? Extraordinary detention is equivalent to state-sponsored kidnapping. Countries like the UK and US have condemned similar actions in other nations. Why are they now? The UK government has failed to defend Kanu, who is a British citizen. Just like I always tell you guys, if you guys normally follow my live session, I posted something about I posted something about the UK president, because there was a time that the wife of Kanu, Uchechi, went to confront the UK government, saying that they have abandoned their own citizens, they have abandoned Kanu, and they are not saying anything about his release. So the UK government has failed to defend Kanu, who is a British citizen. This silence by global bodies embodies future unlawful renditions. Nigeria is setting a dangerous international precedent. The African Union should sanction Nigeria for breaching cross-border legal standards. Kenya should be held accountable too for collaborating in illegal war rendition. No proper trial has occurred, only endless adjournments and secret hearings. The ECOWAS court already ordered Kanu's release years ago. Why is that judgment ignored? International observers have been barred from his court section. The UN called for his release in 2022, but Nigeria defied the order. The silence from the ICC, that's International Crime Court, is deafening. Human rights groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch must do the more. Western governments defend democracy abroad but ignore it in Nigeria. Kanu's case reflects global selective justice. Why is Ukrainian sovereignty defended internationally but not Kanu's rights? Justice must be blind, not politically color-coded. Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution, it grants fair trial, denied in this case. Section 35 protects freedom from unlawful detention, again has been denied. DSS has defied multiple court orders to release him on bail. Judiciary is under executive pressure and obvious from delays and silence. His lawyers were attacked in court. Where is the justice? Court proceedings are constantly postponed to frustrate the defense. The Nigerian government is using delay tactics to keep him in indefinitely. The courts are complicit about refusing to hold DSS accountable. The Nigerian Bar Association should rise and condemn his judicial abuse. Even prisoners, they have rights under Nigerian law. Kanu is denied even those. He's not serving a sentence. He's on a pretrial detention for over 3 years. Section of 175 gives the president power to grant pardon. Why is Tinubu ignoring it? All democratic systems guarantee the presumption of what of innocence. The law has become a tool for political vengeance. The courts must uphold law and fear. Now, Southeast governors have largely remained silent. Their silence is betrayal. The political class fears DSS more than they repeat what justice. Now, why are honest and Igbo leaders mute on this matter? Why are their leaders, that the honest and Igbo, why are they always mute on this matter? They have not really come out, to say anything tangible about Kanu's release. Now, traditional rulers in Igbo land must speak, even at risk. Senators from the east should threaten to resign if he's not released. Youths are doing what elected leaders are afraid to do. Tinubu has betrayed democracy after once being its biggest advocate. Where are those who fought against Abacha? Where are they silent now? If leadership is silent in injustice, they are not leaders. They are caretakers. Yes, now the silence of the elites proves that the people must lead themselves. Kanu's case has exposed who is truly for the people and who isn't. PDP, APC, LP, no major party has taken a blood stand from him. The Southeast need leaders, not career politicians. This is no longer about IPOP, it's about consciousness. It's about conscience. Now, history remember the silence of the privileged. The Southeast has the fewest federal appointments under Tinubu. No service chief comes from the region. Federal infrastructure projects in the East are minimal or abandoned. The region still has no international airport with what full operations. Now, railway expansion has skipped the southeast again. NYSC postings in the east are dropping. Why? Federal government ignores cultural festival projects and developments in the east. The region will still struggles with bad roads and low investment. The East has become a symbol of state neglect and abandonment. Detaining Kanu is just the tip of the marginalization iceberg. Even the 2023 census process sidelined what Igbo communities in the southeast gets the latest military protection, yet the most DSS was invasion. An Igbo man hasn't been president in 60 plus years, yet seen as a threat. They already know that, oh, an Igbo man hasn't been the president for a very long time now. Still, they still see that thing as a threat. They still see it as a threat. This marginalization fuels agitation, not the other way around. Equity will reduce agitation, not repression. 17 states unity shows the beginning of a new South. Yoruba, Ijaw, Efik, and Ibibio Urobo all are speaking with one voice. Southern unity was rare until now. The Supreme Council of Southern Nigerian Youth is changing the game. This unity scares the political elites more than any protest. It proves Kanu's struggle is now a regional cause, not just an ethnic one. If Tinubu ignores 17 state demands, he's ignoring half of Nigeria. The South is proving that unity is their weapon. The strategy give drive massive what political change in 2027. The New South is not violent, it's strategic and what vocal. Now, the idea of the United Southern voice terrifies the Northern what establishment. Even non-Igbos are calling for his release. Prove this is about injustice. This is not just a Biafran matter, it's about fairness and federalism. Southern Nigeria is reclaiming its dignity. The people have remembered their power. Churches must rise. Jesus never supported what injustice is because if you to start thinking about the spiritual and in moral angle of this, you will understand that churches must rise. Yes, yes, to agitate for the release of Kanu. Just Jesus never supported injustice. Islamic leaders have condemned injustice. Christians must do the same. The people, Archbishop of Canterbury and the Vatican must be petitioned. Religion must be voice of the voiceless, not silence in comfort. If spiritual leaders don't speak now, they will say the Bible says, set the captives free. It is time to obey. Now, Clegg, who supported NSAS, must speak now or lose your credibility. Kanu's detention is spiritual warfare too, against freedom and dignity. Prayer must be backed by action and voice. Religion that ignores justice is hypocrisy in white robe. Just like I would always tell you guys, the southern states have, they have come out in one voice, to talk about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have come out in one voice, to talk about the release of Kanu. So it is high time for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to listen to them. Because according to what is going on now, it's as if these people really want an indigenous people of Biafra, to react coming 10th October 2025 when Nnamdi Kanu is going to be in court. Now, Nigeria has a history of suppressing voices of self-determination from Ojukwu to Kanu. The Biafran war ended without reconciliation, wounds remain open. Instead of healing, the government punishes the descendants of the war survivors. Kanu represents a new generation demanding dignity and not war. The East has remained politically and economically pushed since was 1970. The history of military coups often led the East vulnerable. Even during democratic rule, the Igbo remained under suspicion. The pattern of detaining Igbo voices has repeated for decades. Nnamdi Kanu is being punished for raising old questions Nigeria never answered. He speaks to millions who still can who he speaks to millions who still feel like second-class citizens in their own country. Historical grievances are ignored, then mocked. Nigeria keeps saying one Nigeria but fails to treat all citizens equally. Justice delayed for the East is justice denied for the nation. The demand is not war, it is a national world conversation. Detaining Kanu is postponing the inevitable truth war dialogue. It proves Nigeria cannot handle peaceful agitation. History shows nations break when truth is suppressed too long. The Igbo nation wants justice and not pity. If Kanu is not released, the cycle of resistance will only evolve. You cannot jail history, you must what confront it. Now, polls show over 70% of Nigerians in the Southeast support his release, hashtag calling for his release trend every few weeks globally. Market women, students, elders are calling for his release. Lawyers and civil society groups have protested was silently. Even politicians use his name to gain sympathy from constituents. Kanu's health crisis inside DSS have provoked outrage. Even former DSS officers have expressed concern over his treatment. Videos of his supporters praying, marching and weeping floods as social media. His detention has become a symbol of the people. Face the people. Many Nigerians say you don't have to support IPOB to demand justice. Social media influencers across tribes are now joining the campaign. International diaspora protests have taken place in UK, US, Canada, and Germany. IPOB sit-at-home orders emerged because no other voice was heard. The more the state stays silent, the louder the people become. Protests in London outside Nigerian High Commission featured with global media. Many Igbo people abroad say they won't invest at home unless the injustice ends. Seen many Igbo people, I've seen many Igbo people abroad who say that they're not going to invest at home, they're not going to invest in Nigeria until this injustice, ends. So youth in Bayelsa, Delta, Cross River, and Edo have endorsed the 17 states unity call. So guys, please, I want you guys, to actually take a look at, what the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to say about the reason why the 17 southern states, has come together in one voice to order for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And also, please, guys, I want you to, drop your comment below, because I want this live session to be an interactive like session, and I'll be back to tell you the reason why you see the 7 southern states, they have all come together, to come and make sure that Bola Ahmed Tinubu hears them in one voice.
Calm down. The reason Nnamdi have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate. But they said the way he was going about it, like and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
what of the one the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one Oba of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something. Then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe. So you are not saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, he wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So, apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
Are you sure Max, are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold on this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that there's
the chief of Naval Staff is from the Southeast?
Huh?
The chief of Naval Staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number one person, number two person, number three person, number four person, number five person. The key position. We have three arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that when I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular governance is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And they are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Hanele and they are now brought in Janko Juku, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Check, let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kanu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted. That they said from, I think they said next week, the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal courts? Federal courts, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the people the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal over the judicial division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And you are not even thinking about all this, and the judges are not even thinking about So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we are not even, I'm defending Nnamdi one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. I don't say you don't even know what I'm talking about. Court. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi out. What even say? Okay,
Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. No, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held.
Yes.
That is why the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying.
Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it. He organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or adopted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, you said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I ask you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, he will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own. Emma Powerful will talk his own. This one will talk his own. This one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you that the other day. You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is. Because you're saying allow him to agitate and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think? Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition given Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I say, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being. so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I'll be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk. You will not move out. You say, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I'll cut one of your hands, say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right. And if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. Yeah. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person. Start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazirike was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazirike that time. Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa is there. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
Right. So for you, it's not about.
It's not about
So guys, you guys heard the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, right? You need to address all these issues, before giving conditions like, oh, before he needs to be released, this should be done, this should be done. Okay, I'll be taking some comments. A lot of comments are here. Just like I told you guys, drop your comment below and we'll be treating it one by one. I want this life to be an interactive service. So someone said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents truth and is the very reason why this case remains inconclusive. Exactly. Once they found out that, okay, this is the truth, they will do everything. The federal government will do everything to silence the truth, which Kanu is not giving them that chance, to silence him. No matter the fact that they haven't kept him in detention, they feel like keeping him in detention is going to silence him. But his truth has actually gone worldwide. Now, okay, someone here saying, so guys, let us continue in what we have. So now, the 7 southern states have come together, to free Kanu and said Kanu must be freed. When I'm talking about 7, I'm talking about 17 regions, not a different type of region. They have come together to agitate for the release of Kanu, asking Bola Ahmed Tinubu use the prerogative of mercy to release Kanu, use the 1990 Constitution to release Kanu. You have the opportunity, you know how to plead for mercy. That's what people have been telling him, so that he'll be able to release Kanu. And like to show you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, doesn't want to release him because they know the truth. They know that the truth is going to cause a lot of harm. That's the reason why they're still keeping him in detention. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, and turn on the notification button to get all the latest news in this channel. Just like I always tell you guys, this is a platform where we agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So please, I want to type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu, and also justice delayed is not justice denied. And also, don't forget that he'll be coming to court on the 10th October 2025. I'll be giving you guys the latest updates about everything concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So do well to click the subscribe button, like and share this live section. So guys, thanks for watching, and see you guys again in my next live section.